Hello, and welcome to another presentation brought to you by Global Solutions. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about asset protection and privacy. With the current state of our government and with fraud on the rise, there has never been a more important time to protect your assets from potential liability. We all know that the current state of affairs globally is not good and that our assets should be protected. This is just a short presentation to hopefully help the viewer protect their assets. And there are certain steps that can be taken to protect your assets both now and in the future and to avoid probate. What is asset protection? Asset protection involves implementing strategies to safeguard financial assets from potential creditors. Privacy measures work in tandem with asset protection to reduce visibility and therefore vulnerability of the asset. The importance of combining these two approaches for comprehensive wealth preservation is of the utmost importance. Many people seem to think you can just draft a document and it will stand up in court. I see many people send me stuff and ask me to read certain documents, and it in no way, shape, or form conforms to what is legally required in court, and many times these documents get rejected by the court. Therefore, it is of the utmost importance, especially with asset protection, that the documents and the necessary steps be taken to ensure that the will hold up in court and that the courts will recognize them. There are various levels of asset protection. The basic level involves proper maintenance of existing business entities, LLCs or corporations. Many people think that you can put an LLC or a corporation document together and just draft it and file it, and that's the end of it. Nothing further needs to be done according to their way of thinking. This is 100% completely wrong. You require regular board meetings, and you have to update corporate books and operating agreements. This service can be contracted out at an estimated cost of approximately $200 US annually per year for maintenance programs, or you can simply do it yourself. If I was involved in a court case against an LLC, I would ask for their corporate books to prove that they are not just hiding behind some fraudulent LLC or trust or S Corp or what have you. Therefore, your paperwork must be done correctly and it must be filed correctly in the proper jurisdiction so that the courts will recognize it. Simply put, to put it in blunt terms, if I photocopied some document, let's say an ownership for a vehicle, and I altered it, but it wasn't because it wasn't my vehicle, it was just the ownership for somebody's vehicle, and I brought that into a court of law and said, look, that's my vehicle. The courts might take it at face value, but if somebody said that's a fraudulent document or that entity doesn't exist, such as in the case of an LLC or a trust or anything else, then the validity of the document comes into question, and if you can't properly prove that it's a legitimate, valid document, then the courts will most likely find in the other side's favor and or potentially charge you for filing frivolous and vexatious documents, whatever. So you must carry out your paperwork correctly. People that think you can simply draft a document and file it in court are sadly mistaken, and I see many people trying to file court documents which don't even conform to the court standards. When it comes to asset protection, it is of the utmost importance that the documents be done correctly, otherwise the courts may throw it out and you will lose all of your assets. So this is probably the most important video I've ever made. An intermediate level asset protection integrates tax planning into your asset protection and estate planning. So it's a three-part process, or three-legged process. So we'll call it the trifecta. This provides a more robust shield against potential legal challenges, which hopefully nobody has to go through, but I would rather have the protection in place rather than need it and not have it. An advanced level protection is incorporation of a charging order or protection entity, called a COPE for short, and utilization of the entities that are set up in multiple states or potentially countries for layered protection, suitable for individuals with significant assets or high-risk profiles. Simple measures to protect yourself is the regular shredding of sensitive documents. These would include bank statements, credit card statements, lines of credit, bills, anything that could potentially lead back to someone finding your identification or your ID. ID theft is on the rise. And then proper disposal of financial statements with personal information. This can be done by anyone. Simply take and buy a shredder at your local office supply store, Staples or what have you, and shred all these documents or burn them if you heat with wood or have a means to do so. And that ensures that nobody ever will get your private information. Secondly, I wouldn't post pictures of you or your children publicly on any social media platform. Many people show them holding up their child and basically are advertising that you have a kid potentially that could be taken. Privacy is of the utmost importance when you deal with asset protection, and so there's many steps that can be taken to ensure your privacy is protected. As I said in the previous slide, you can shred all of your documents to make sure nobody gains access to your account numbers, credit card numbers, social insurance number, social security number, EIN number, ITIN number, or anything else. Intermediate measures would involve taking an annual video and or a spreadsheet to list down all of your assets and the potential serial numbers. This would include the serial numbers of anything that's electronic, computers, vehicles, boats, airplanes, anything like that. Anything that has a serial number or a vehicle identification number. You can also take a video to document personal belongings for insurance purposes. Secure these documents and other information in a fireproof safe, which you can simply buy at Walmart or some other local retailer. And don't buy the cheapest one on the block. Make sure it will withstand fire for a prolonged period of time so that your safe doesn't get ruined, and you can take your video footage from a SIM card or similar and place it in the safe along with your documents, which should also include any photographs of your family members, of your belongings, of your vehicles, your pets, and in that safe should also have your birth certificate and your passport or other personal identification. This ensures that if you have to find loved ones or find your belongings or potentially trace them down, you can go to that safe spot, get those documents, make photocopies of them, and use them for the intended purpose. Advanced measures, which is where I come in, is the creation of entities that do not directly link to your personal information. Okay? This is involving setting up a private trust. And there's a certain process to do this, and it's not quite as simple as just downloading some documents off the internet. This is what I was alluding to earlier. You can also use post office boxes or mail forwarding services to protect your home address. And you can put in implementation of digital privacy tools and practices on your electronic devices, such as your cell phone or your computer. The importance of asset protection and privacy is critical and crucial for preventing hard-earned wealth and protecting assets and potential legal challenges. Proper maintenance of business entities and comprehensive planning can significantly improve one's legal position in the event of a lawsuit from a creditor or from the municipality. By implementing the combination of asset protection and privacy measures, individuals can create multiple layers of security for their assets while maintaining control and reducing public exposure of their personal and financial information. The other thing we can do with properly planned asset protection is ensure that you avoid probate and legal expenses in the event of someone's death. Sadly to say, we're all going to die at some point, and if these asset protection measures are put in place, then you can ensure that the distribution of your estate goes to where you intend it, instead of being tied up in probate and a bunch of legal costs. If you would like more information on this, I intend to run a seminar or a webinar, as the case may need to be, and I offer asset protection. I will file the documents for you, and you will then either choose someone to maintain those documents, or you can implement them through me. I've learned this asset protection process because I was involved in a legal matter with the municipality, and I found out just how vulnerable a person can be when they're dealing with legal issues. I've been studying law and dealing with law for over 40 years. I learned what is required, and the only way to protect it is the way that I'm advocating here. Is it a 100% guarantee? No, but it is impenetrable if the courts follow the law. Obviously, if somebody doesn't follow the law, there isn't much I can do about it. If you wish to learn more about asset protection, or wish to have a presentation done at your location, you can feel free to email me at the address on your screen. I will then contact you, and I will arrange a fee, and I will come out and do your presentation for you. It is my hope that with these presentations we can prevent further unnecessary legal expenses and/or grief and aggravation for the consumer. What I will do is I will basically rely on you to provide the people to do the seminar for. I will do it anywhere you wish, but my costs will need to be covered. Obviously, I have to fly or drive to wherever I'm going, and my time is worth something. I've helped many people over the years, and if it's something simple, I just answer their question and off I go. If it's going to take an extended amount of time to research and read a whole pile of legal documents, I certainly don't work for free. If you are interested in asset protection, please feel free to reach out to the email address on the screen, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, and have a great day.